Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, Let It Be. I'm going to do these albums in order of their original recording, so I can talk about the end at the end. I know some people might get annoyed, I don't care. So, Let It Be, you can hear some Let It Be songs and some George Harrison solo work on the demos for the White Album, as it was sort of all together, or they started this, or what would become this, the Get Back sessions after the White Album. So the plan was, I think it was Paul McCartney's idea, that they would bring the Beatles back to basics and they would just record the Beatles in a studio together and have this sort of live, I don't want to say realistic, but just this live sound. But the Get Back sessions just didn't work at all. I forget exactly why it was, but I know at the time they were slowly splitting apart, you know. Yoko Ono was in the studio. There was a time John Lennon, I think he fell ill or he had an accident or something, and he got a bed so that Yoko Ono could be in the studio with the Beatles. And there was a time when George Harrison locked Yoko Ono outside the studio so she couldn't get in, which is brilliant. George Harrison, side rant, George Harrison has a brilliant sense of humour. He always has done. He's just the funniest dude on the planet. His song, this song, is absolutely brilliant. Anyway, I'm getting really distracted. So, this is the 2009 digital remaster version. You can find Let It Be Naked, which was released in 2003. Now, I'll explain what that is in a minute. But first, come on. I'll show you it's just a black vinyl, there's nothing too exciting. But, lovely Apple logo. Basically, Phil Spector, that's his name. Phil Spector added a lot of stuff. A lot of the instrumentation on this album was added later on by Phil Spector. It is Phil Spector, isn't it? Yes, I hope so. And shout out and big up to Billy Preston, who was amazing. But this album consists of the Get Back sessions of what had, they've been able to save from the Get Back sessions and the rooftop performance. Now, if you find Let It Be Naked, all of Phil Spector's stuff or instrumentation he added is gone. Paul McCartney, and I believe some of the other Beatles as well, they weren't happy with what Phil Spector had done and added to this album. But as the Beatles were just, pretty much not the Beatles anymore, there wasn't a lot they could do or change it at this point. Because this album came out in 1970, I think. Yeah, 1970. So you can hear snippets with Phil Spector added in stuff from the rooftop performance to this album. Some songs will start with some chattering and it ends with John Lennon saying, "Thanks for the audition and I hope you get the..." No, I can't remember what he said, I'm so bad. But it's from that performance. And I think Let It Be Naked is better, but sadly, it's not. When they, pardon me, in 2003 I think it came out, and they never re-released it, or when they did the 2009 ones, it was never brought out. But hopefully this year actually, when we get a 50th anniversary of Let It Be, like fingers crossed, I can't explain why, but fingers crossed, they released the naked versions as well. I'm not going to talk about the music, and then so it starts off with Two of Us, which is a really great, really amazing song. I absolutely love it, with John and George, John and Paul, singing about their lives and just the two of them. And I love the sound. I love all the sound on this album, and I'm not giving anything away because I've got to make a Beatles tier list video later on tonight for the future. Dig a Pony is a great love song. I love just the nonsensical lyrics. Across the Universe, one of the most beautiful songs of all time. You can find a demo version on the White Album. it is really, really windy outside, so you might hear some of that. Um, I'm Mine, George Harrison song, and the last Beatles song to ever be recorded. And I believe it's the last Beatles song to be recorded. Well, sorry, brain. The only Beatles song to be recorded in 1970. Um, and John Lennon wasn't there for those sessions. He had left the band by that point. And then, of course, Dig It, which is just a snippet of the band sessions from the Get Back. We had and Let It Be, the title track. I mean, what can you say about one of the great songs of all time? Sorry, everyone, I was interrupted. I had to cut there. Singing about Mother Mary, comes to him, and he had a dream. Paul McCartney had a dream that his mum, during this turmoil and a very stressful period in his life, he dreamt that his late mum come to him and told him to let it be, and that is, the inspiration for the song. But many people believe Mother Mary refers to the Christian Mother Mary. But Paul McCartney's fine with that. He says if that helps people enjoy the song, then that's great. Um, and then we have one of my favourite songs on the album. Oh, before we move on, I have to talk about his vocals, which are just superb. Again, Paul McCartney is one of the greatest singers of all time, easily. And I love the guitar solo by George. Just amazing. Then we have Maggie Mae, which is just a snippet, but it's so catchy for just a snippet. It's an old Liverpool wise tale, yeah. And I swear to God, when I went to Liverpool, I got off at the song Maggie Mae references Lime Street, and I got off at Lime Street Station. First step foot in Liverpool, Lime Street Station, and I had that song Maggie Mae stuck in my head for the entire 4 days I was in Liverpool. I would sing it, hum it wherever I walked. I'm not complaining. It's amazing, and I love how Liverpool they went with the vocals. It's just so great. And then I've Got a Feeling. I love it. Just superb. One After 909 is one of the earliest Beatles songs they had written. You can find them recording it in like 62, I think even 61. Can you imagine being so talented that you could sit on a song like One After 909 for that long without recording it in the studio? Can you just imagine? And then The Long and Winding Road, one of my favourite Beatles songs. It's in my top 5. I love this version with the strings and the orchestra, but the naked version with Paul on his piano is just beautiful as well. I love the lyrics. For me, I got into the Beatles while being in a long distance relationship, and The Long and Winding Road really spoke to me, so it's a very special song. For You Blue is amazing. I love it. George Harrison, great vocals. And then Get Back. I absolutely love Get Back, but I prefer the single version, which I think is the version from the rooftop where it was longer. It sort of just kicks back in with Paul's singing. I fucking love that song. I love the guitar. I love how catchy it is. Just superb. This album is one of the greatest albums of all time. And I love George Harrison's smile. That smile makes people's day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video where I talk about Abbey Road, the masterpiece. Take care, everyone. Mother Mary, come to me. It's Mother Mary. Let it be. And what are the fucking lyrics? Ah!